is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the God Squad podcast. As always, I'm Cody. With me, my brother Bryce Logan. What's going on, amigo?
Oh, not much, man. Actually, trying to do some producing. That's why I'm sitting like this today. So I'm a little closer to the computer that way.
I can see you better this way.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else can see you, but I can see you better.
Yeah, just trying some new things. But
I like it.
What it is.
I like it.
And to lead the podcast off with something that's not about Jesus. Kentucky has their new head coach.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm fired up about it.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I first seen it, Coach Mark Pope.
Yep.
I wonder if we get him on the show.
I don't know.
Doubt it.
Hopefully, we have a Pope and a shepherd leading us.
Yeah.
Or I seen something on Twitter the other day that was they were going to rename the arena to the Vatican.
The Vatican,
like the Vatican. Yeah. The Vatican.
That's awesome. No, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. But yeah, last time that we were on, I think Cal had just left.
Yeah.
So we got ourselves a ball coach. And
that's right.
He in his press conference, he talked about how he likes to put God first and all these things, and you see a lot of that in coaching and now and in sports, and that's such a powerful thing to see.
Well, the difference that I thought about Mark Pope is that when he said it, I believed it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Everything he said when he truly meant which he was on the '96 national championship team for Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
When he said he loved Jesus, loved his family, loved Kentucky basketball, I believed it.
Yeah,
I have a coworker that said that Kentucky should go after a former player as coach. And I was like, that just seems like a bad idea. Because it seems like if you have somebody like Mark Pope, for example, that has emotional ties to the university, it would be real hard to get rid of them if they start losing. Which, I mean, I guess that coming in. It seems like he knows it, like the standard is what the standard is. So he doesn't do good out the door. But still, though, I mean, I feel like he's going to have a little bit longer leash than most, which Cal had hit extension cord.
It's an exciting time, and we bring that up. One of the candidates is Scott Drew.
Yeah,
and of course, he turned it down. Which he Baylor is a private school. He coming from Baylor, which is in Waco, Texas, and it's a Baptist private school, and they're very religious.
Yeah.
And he put this out when he said he was going to stay. He said, in our program, we strive to put Jesus first and others and ourselves. We truly believe God has called my family and I to continue our work here at Baylor, surrounded by the best people in the community and anyone good and blessed to have. We're grateful for the support of yada yada and more, going on to praise Baylor. But, with the first sentence there shows like what we just said, that, Jesus is really working in today's time to try to get his message out when he says, in our program, we strive to put Jesus first.
Yeah. And also, kind of coming off the same way, Mark Pope's come from BYU, which is a big Mormon college, probably the biggest Mormon college. And so, I heard on Kentucky Sports Radio, I guess it was today's episode, it may have not been today's anyway, said that they believed that they were happy for Mark Pope because it felt like he was on a mission because he could go to the bigger school and get God's word out more.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's a good way to look at it, is that you lose a coach like Mark Pope that is an X and O guru that, is really smart and a really good coach. But yeah, you look at it as, this is the mission that the Lord wants him on. Right. Which I'm not Mormon, don't get me wrong. I've talked to y'all know my feelings on the Mormons on the show, them and their magic underwear and whatnot. But anyway, I just thought that was a really neat response of what they had when they asked how they felt about him leaving, coming to a public school like Kentucky.
Right, and he's coming from, like you said, a very religious Mormon school, BYU. Even to go get into BYU, you have to commit to go to
it's a 2-year mission. Yeah.
And to go do the Lord's work,
out
doing that, and that's an awesome thing to do. I mean, if they could, if they could do that in every university, do like a year, just go out and spread God's word, and things like that. That'd be such a cool thing to do. But it's like I said, it's such a warm, grateful feeling to see Jesus working the way He is right now, and the way the times is going, and everything that's going. Switching gears to the Middle East, when everybody attacking Israel right now.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. You sent me a text message. I guess it was over the weekend. He was like, "Do you see what's going on?" I'm like, I have no idea. I was turkey hunting. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And it was like Israel is finally the attack they've been waiting on is finally happening.
Yeah.
And man, just the videos and stuff. Like if y'all want to look it up on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, right? That platform, Facebook, whatever. I mean, there's so many videos of just Israel getting attacked, and we need to just, I don't know if fearfully pray is the answer, but we definitely need to be praying for Israel and their people, because you got to think that those are God's chosen people. So we need to be about that and be all involved. We need to be paying attention to what's happening in the Middle East.
Right, absolutely. And you see so many times, the Christian or the Jesus or the Christian faith get attacked.
Yeah.
And everyone's that go against that, and it's such a horrible thing to see those people go through. Like you said, it's God's chosen people, and we're always under attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a thing, such a strong thing. You know what we always mention is the 9:23 also, and go every day. And that's true, and that's a true battle. I mean, a true battle.
Yeah, that's a war.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just a battle. I mean, it's a spiritual battle going on, but it's also a physical war.
Yeah,
people are losing their lives, and so, like I said, we just need to pray for them and be just every time you pray. I mean, just throw Israel out there. Because God's got His hand over the people, but still, it's a battle for them each and every day right now.
Yeah, I also want to bring something up. That we go out to a lot of people, and there's power in prayer. And
Agreed.
We have a situation in our hometown that a lady that's very, very well liked here, gotten some pretty awful news.
Yeah,
she is she's on the verge of having a serious procedure this weekend. So if you could just send a prayer up, or the Lord knows.
Yeah,
the Lord knows the situation, and just pray for her, and that outcome would be what God wants to be and what we want.
Yeah, so they actually pushed a procedure from today to Saturday. So if you're hearing this first thing Saturday morning, please pray right now, because this lady, she's a God-fearing woman. I've known her since I was able to be in school. I mean, she was with me at the school that I went to, is no longer there, and she was there through the whole time. So, I mean, we grew up with her kids, and I mean, she's just a God-fearing woman that deserves a fighting chance. But we're going to pray for the Lord's will to be done, but if anybody deserves life and deserves, to stay around, that will spread God's word, that woman right there. She's a great individual, and we just ask that you pray for and pray for that family.
Absolutely. And to switch gears, into something very less serious. You said you want to talk about some turkey hunting.
Oh, yeah. Man, let me tell you what. I have been fired up for the turkey season. I hope if you listened to last episode while you turkey hunting, first off, I hope you like the subscribe. Secondly, if you're listening to us while you're turkey hunting, you're probably not having very good luck. But I hope if you listen to this and you went turkey hunting, you had luck, but I personally did not. I went Saturday, opening day. I did not go Sunday. I chose to stay home, then do church, and then do yard work and stuff. So really, turkey hunt was out the way. I ended up going today. Today is the 17th. If you're hearing this, it's going to be Saturday, whatever day. So I went and sat in the woods for like 3.5 hours today and saw 2 deer. So yeah, that's how my turkey season is.
The best thing is during deer season, you'll see a bunch of turkeys.
I'll see all kinds of turkeys. Every time I go deer hunting, I'll see a bunch of turkeys. I don't know why. They need to flip these seasons.
What I've seen some stuff. Of course, you're a much bigger hunter. You're like Kentucky basketball, like a fan of I am about turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Or about hunting, rather. Have you seen those times like people get behind the blind and sneak up on the turkey?
I've done that.
You've done that?
I've done that.
Oh, man. That would be...
If
I had good knees, that would be...
That's one of the most adrenaline rush. That's why I love turkey hunting. I left work today at 11. I had a fire drill this morning at 4 a.m. So I put in my time today, or deuces, I'm out working.
Yeah.
So I left work at 11. When I'm like, I just fingers crossed, like, one minute because I got a big old Tom decoy that's all panned out, and bull, they get all fired up and jazzed up, and they get me going, bull. They talk about the Lord creating a bird that's just so territorial, he don't even see nothing around him but just red.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I'm making me the Lord.
Well, the Bible does say go out, hunt, and eat. So
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at, but it does say that. It's in there somewhere.
Acts 9 or 19, when the Lord comes to Peter, says, "Arise, Peter, go kill and eat."
Yeah, it's one of the 9s.
It's
got a 9 in it.
Deal. Anyway, y'all, if you're listening to this, fact check us on that. I know it's an act somewhere. But anyway, today we're going to be doing our first ever movie review.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's the movie The Shift. Stars Neil McDonough and some other, I can't remember the other guy. I got it pulled up here, but the main star is Neil McDonough. You know, you see him in all kinds of different movies in Hollywood. He's in
pretty big actor.
Yeah, he's a pretty big actor. It's a movie. So we'll get into that more whenever we get done with our prayer and get into the meat and potatoes of it.
But yeah,
it's an interesting movie.
So before we get too far into this, if you haven't watched The Shift yet, there's going to be some spoilers coming in this episode. So if you want to stop here and pick it back up later after you watch it, I would advise doing that now at the break, because when we come back from the break, we're going to be jumping into it wide open. So this is your only warning. Yeah. We gave you a chance last week to go watch it this week. We're about to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like to spoil things for people, and I don't like things spoiled for me. But you know, we're gonna dive a little bit into it, kind of tell what we thought of it, and it was a very interesting movie. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, so let's take a break. We'll just come right back. We're gonna take a second to give a shout out to our sponsors. Our first sponsor is going to be J.Berry Makes Stuff. Jonathan Berry makes wooden signs like the one back here. He made the awesome hat that I have on, and if you need something made, something custom, sign, hat, tumbler, pretty much anything, give J.Berry a shout out.
Be sure to give him a call, and also give Angela Jesse a call at FH&L Family Practice. Yeah. Angela Jesse is a family practice nurse practitioner and certified in psychiatry. She has over 30 years of experience, and she is willing to help you with whatever you're going through. If you need an appointment, please give her a call at 270-432-2444.
Awesome. And our last sponsor is the A&A Cutlery page. On A&A, they sell knives, mostly case knives. They do different types of brands. So a bunch of good group of guys that are just trying to also grow God's kingdom, just like we are. So get on there, like their page, follow, and buy you a knife.
They're on our Facebook page along with all the our other two sponsors. So just go to our Facebook page, and there are links on there.
Awesome. So back to the show. And we're back. Okay, so that was a pretty good break.
Yeah.
So The Shift. This movie come out last year, 2023, and I was fired up when I seen the trailer for this thing. So I thought, my first initial thought, well, and you can give me your first initial thought, is that this guy dies. This guy's Kevin. What's his name? I got notes right here printed off. Kevin Gardner.
Yeah, it's right by Christopher Polaya.
However you say that name. I don't know. So the guy in the movie's named Kevin Gardner.
Yeah.
What my initial thought was, and we'll talk about more what actually happened in the movie, was he dies somehow. Whoa. He dies and meets Satan like he lived a terrible life, and like it was kind of going to show like apocalyptic style stuff, like what's going to happen, you know, like that was the kind of mindset I had from the trailer. What was your initial thought?
Well, my initial thought, you know, I've seen a lot of it, or a lot of things on TikTok before I've seen it. You know, it showed what I could think, you know, it was showing kind of what the devil, or what the devil, who is played by Neil McDonough in the movie, or the benefactor is what they call him.
Yeah, they only call him Satan one time.
Yeah, they only call him Satan one, really. But you know, I thought it would be very interesting to see. You don't really see those kinds of actors playing those kinds of roles, and going in and seeing, like you said, that apocalyptic thing, and you know, once we get into the real part of it, it's kind of an odd movie.
Yeah,
it's an odd concept.
Well, oddly enough, it kind of shifted from what my expectations was.
Yeah.
So when I first watched it, it's one of these movies where like there's a, you know how movies have like a peak, like you're like, all right, that's the turning point in the movie.
Yeah.
When I first watched it, I was like, all right, that never really came. You know, the it kind of gradually come up, then it ended.
Yeah.
But the second time I watched it, I knew, like, because I knew what was coming. At that point, I noticed it. It's a very small point where it turns, and it's the part where he's in the theater and he sees his wife for the first time.
Yeah.
At that point is where the movie turns and he starts heading the right direction.
Yeah.
Before we jump into that, though, let's talk about what the movie's really about, not our expectations.
Right.
So, what this guy, Kevin Gardner, he is a
he's like a
tax guy or a
financial person or something.
Yeah. It doesn't really talk about what he really done. I mean, he's like a stockbroker or something.
In the movie, you see him sitting at like at the first of it before, like
it's a very short part of the movie.
Right, you see him at a desk, and
like
his boss,
the first 15 seconds.
Yeah, and his boss brings him into his office and kind of gets on him about something, and then he leaves.
Yeah,
and then he ends up calling his wife about something, and then he ends up.
It does like a back and forth from like past to present.
It's like foreshadowing.
Yeah,
to the end of the movie.
And so what happens is he meets this woman named Molly. Mm-hmm. They end up having this big life together, and having a kid and stuff. And then they end up losing their son, just like in Job, how he lost his kids. And then him and Molly started having problems and stuff like that. And then he gets this new crappy job and all this other stuff happens. And then they send him home. And while he's on his way home, he gets in a wreck. Somebody hits him, which I think is planned.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Well, what we said, this shift, it follows the Book of Job.
Oh yeah, it's literally about the Book of Job.
This is the reason that we wanted to do it now.
Yeah,
it follows the Book of Job, and you can see, when like we talked about in chapter 1 and 2, where God kind of sends the devil out to go at Job.
Yeah,
and like you said, when he gets to Rick, and it was kind of planned that way. I think too. So,
So the benefactor or Satan comes to him is like, once Kevin realizes that he's not in the world no more, it's kind of like an alternate universe type deal. So it's called the shift because Satan can shift people around from alternate universes. Like the way that it makes sense in my mind is like you come to every decision, you have A and a B, and if you choose A, there's still a you that chooses B, and it makes an alternate universe, and you go that way. Right. And it just keeps branching off, like your alternate universes make decisions to make another alternate universe. And so Satan keeps shifting people around to cause chaos, is what it is.
Right, and you see this lady once he gets into showing Kevin that he's not on actual in his present multiverse, whatever. If you've seen like the Marvel movies, this multiverse.
Yeah.
And he sits down and
talking about Tina?
I thought it was Molly. Her name was Molly.
Molly's the
wife. Yeah. That's right. And Tina, the waitress.
Yeah, Tina.
At the diner.
Yeah, it's Tina.
So he brings Kevin into the diner, and they sit down and they're having a meal. And this lady, Tina, is getting their order, and they're sitting there talking back and forth about some things and getting into the shifting part. Kevin wants him to show him that
prove it. Prove who you are.
Prove who you are. Prove you're Satan.
Yeah.
And the benefactor, which is Satan, says okay and shifts this one.
Yeah, he tells Kevin, he's like, "Who you want to shift?" Like you pick, and he picked Tina.
Yeah.
And then, like this is point, like in this restaurant, just kind of give a visual. Like everybody's like sitting there timid and scared, like to do anything that he's not saying. So like, she's like brings him food, and he's like, "Sit down and eat." She's like, "No, okay." And he's like, "Sit down."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. So she sits down, and that's when all that happens. And Kevin's like, "Shift her," and then boom, she's gone, and he shifts her to a universe where she was never born and stuff. And it all evolves later on in the movie why this is important.
Right.
But at this point, it's pretty much the same thing. The whole premise of this scene is that the benefactor Satan has offered Kevin a job.
Yeah.
He's wanting Kevin to become a shifter or like a demon type thing to do these, cause chaos while he's out doing other stuff. It's pretty much what it boils down to.
Right.
And then, so Kevin is there in the diner, and they make a point that him and every other alternate universe has jumped right on this opportunity, and he's the last one to take it or to be offered it. So when Satan or the benefactor offers him this job, he starts praying to Jesus. He's like, "Lord, help me. I'm in a bad way. Like I need your help. I need your guidance. Like get me out of this situation."
And the thing about that scene, you see the Neil McDonough, the Satan, sit there and say, "Really? Like, this is what you're doing? Like this has never worked," but he keeps doing it.
Yep.
And he keeps doing it, and then it gets to a point that Satan starts to get angry.
Yeah, he starts to get mad at him fast.
Yeah, like stop, like this is not going to help, and then he keeps going, and then he
Boom.
disappears.
Yeah.
But then Satan disappears and goes, and wherever it goes, and then it gets
It
kind
never
of
really says where he goes.
right, and then it kind of jumps ahead.
Yeah, and he's been there for 5 years in this alternate world where it's just mass chaos and like
famine,
poverty, and like everybody that like the police, the military, all these people that are supposed to be helpful and light in the world, the benefactor shifts them away.
Right.
And so the whole point of the movie is Kevin trying to find a shifter because they wear some kind of little bracelet thing where they used to shift around. Kevin trying to find a shifter to get back to Molly.
Yeah.
And so like all through the movie, Kevin is writing scripture. He's doing the best that he can. Like he shows praying, and he shows, trying to do nice things and helping people, giving money, giving food. And he, don't get me wrong, he's poor. Like he is poor. Like he's giving people his last of everything.
Yeah.
And so, but he's doing his best to remember Bible stories. So he's writing them down on these pieces of paper and giving them to a guy named Gabriel.
Yeah.
And so Gabriel is supposed to be taking it to like the poorest parts of the community and passing them out.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who Kevin is. Everybody's looking for Kevin because like on the news, it shows Kevin doing this prayer and like, let's find this guy.
Yeah.
Like he needs to accept this so we can move on.
Oh, the thing we kind of skipped there, they haven't seen the benefactor since.
Oh yeah, we went over that.
Yeah, they haven't since that 5 years has occurred. The benefactor has never came back to that universe.
Yeah, once Kevin prayed the prayer and he's gone, the benefactor's not been back.
Right.
So that's why it's causing like they don't know what to do because technically this is the benefactor's world he's in. He's the one that controls everything in this alternate universe.
Yeah.
So they're like,
like what do we do? Yeah.
Like we need Kevin to accept this so we can get back to our lives.
And you see Kevin and this Gabriel guy, they kind of work at like a factory kind of deal, like just to make ends meet, just to get.
Yeah, like they get literally paid just enough to survive.
Right, and then but one of the recurring things that you see in this universe is people, being nice, and you see this like this old couple that
they're dancing in the alleyway.
And just see
the kids singing like "This is a lot of mine" and stuff like that.
Right, and you see good all around during this time where the benefactor's not there, and he's writing scripture and giving it to Gabriel, and when it goes on through the movie, and it gets into he goes to the movie theater.
Yeah, there's some kind of movie theater where you can go in and sit in it. It shows your alternate realities.
Yeah,
like what your other self is doing. Yeah. And so Kevin keeps going there to see if he can find Molly. Mm-hmm. So like he's saying finally that's the point I was talking about when he goes to the theater finally and he sees Molly, because it's supposed to be just you in your alternate universe, not other people.
Right.
So when it comes up on the screen and it just shows Molly, they're like, this is a 1 in a million chance or whatever. So now he's really like trying to find this shifter bracelet thing, because apparently if whatever universe that is, it plugs into a number, and then you can plug that number into the shifter and get to that universe. And he, like we said earlier, the whole point is him getting back to Molly.
Right, and this is where what I said. It's kind of an odd concept. But, but you get the point.
It's kind of hard to understand with us sitting here talking about it, but if you watch it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how far you want to, but then he goes back and forth a few days, and then this guy kind of comes up to him.
Yeah,
and pulls him into his apartment. They live in like an apartment deal during the whole movie. I guess.
Hotel, apartment,
whatever it is,
something motel.
Yeah, and they pull him in. And they say, "You're the guy."
They're like, "You're Kevin."
Yeah.
So he's going by a different name. I don't even remember what name he's going by. They only say like maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And so they're like, when he's sitting there talking to him, and they have supper or whatever. They have something. Then all of a sudden, the wife gets up and locks the door, and he's like, "What's going on?" And like, "You're Kevin."
Yeah.
And he's starting to freak out because he's like, the only person that knows he's Kevin is Gabriel.
Yeah.
And so this guy worked with him at this place and overheard Gabriel calling him Kevin.
Yeah.
And so that he put the two together, like he's the one who's been writing the scripture, and he's like they've been teaching their kids this, and so this is another thing where it's showing God's light in this world of just pure darkness.
Right.
Is that even in the darkest world, even in the worst times, God's light is still showing through.
Right.
You just got to look for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then they sit down and they kind of tell him, relax. We're here for good.
Yeah, we just want you to teach us.
We want you to teach us about what you're writing.
Yeah,
the Word of God. And he said, and this is where it kind of takes the turn for me into it. He said, "Well, let me tell you a story about a guy named Job."
Yeah,
and then he gets into telling him about Job and what they do, and you go through this but even prior to this, when the 5 years happened, you see Kevin still, like you said, still sticking to he's going to help me at some point, being patient, getting to this point of where he's teaching.
That's what people keep trying to go, just kind of like in Job with his friends, like, are you still going to hold fast, just like his wife, we talked about last week, are you still holding fast to this? Are you still true to this? And, and he's like, yes, I feel like the Lord, all you got to do, you got to be patient. You got to be patient. You got to wait on him, And then, like, even Satan is like, you're still waiting on him. Right. Like, you get all the way to the end of the movie, and he's like, you're still waiting on him to come through for you?
Yeah.
Like, you've been here the whole time. Like, if he's so good and so great, why is he allowing me to do all this to you?
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump to the end yet, because I don't know how much more you're going to talk about. But
right. Well, they're it kind of goes by a little bit, and everybody's waiting for the benefactor to come back. And, this kind of skips through time. And, he's still trying to find the shifter, and then the benefactor comes back.
Yep.
And he goes and he wants to get back and get his life back.
Yeah.
And get so he looks for a gun, gets one from Gabriel.
Yep.
And then goes after the benefactor and gets into this cafe, and the benefactor sees him come in, and he shifts him
back to his hotel room.
Back to his hotel room. And then when he tries to come out, then the army's coming after him.
Yeah.
And that just shows how much power Satan has.
Yeah.
To manipulate
cause chaos, and knowing that you're in this world.
Right. And that's to a point where what God said, you can do whatever you want to do, just don't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he's doing. He's making his life. He's trying to make his life hard and trying to get him to turn against God.
Mm-hmm.
And he's refusing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to the point. I think after that they shift back to his hotel, and then the benefactor's there, and then they start talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the benefactor, Satan, brings Gabriel.
Yeah, like, where'd you get this gun? He brings Gabriel into the room.
Yeah.
And then so that gets to the point they get in like another confrontation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then the army shows up that come after him at the hotel or at the cafe.
Yeah.
And starts shooting.
Yeah.
And shoots Gabriel. Gabriel falls, and then Gabriel ended up being a shifter the whole time.
Yeah.
When he fell, his arm fell out and the bracelet come out, and Gabriel was the one that was shifting and causing chaos in his life there the whole time with it.
Yeah. So Gabriel ends up being a shifter. So he's up being one of Kevin's demons after.
Yeah.
So Kevin gets this shifter, and he keeps trying to shift back and forth from realities.
Pretty much, he's just trying to get away from, like, he's trying to get somewhere safe to where he can figure out what was going on.
Right.
So he goes to this world and keeps meeting himself in other universes or whatever, in realities, and then he just finally winds up back in the one he was in.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he runs back to the movie theater. We're running a little long here, but we'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
So he runs back to the movie theater where he can see Molly. They get the number. He shifts to Molly. He gets to talk to her and stuff. Well, then the benefactor shows back up and pulls him back to the world that he's in.
Yeah.
So when they get there, this is the part that me and you talked about that we really like.
Yeah.
So this is where Tina shows back up.
Yeah.
So,
and he has seen Tina in alternate realities before that.
Yeah. So while he was switching back and forth, he run into Tina, and she was like in a psych ward because it explains in the movie why she's in the psych ward.
If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway.
Yeah. So, anyway, so this is where he comes back, and he was like, you can bring Tina back. He brings Tina back. He's like, you can pick Tina, and she can be back with her family and be back the way it was. Or you can pick Molly, and you can go back with Molly and be with her and have the life that you wanted. Pick.
But Tina stays here.
Tina stays here. Like, she goes to jail pretty much. Like, he says, I'll make sure she gets 3 square meals a day. Like, she will stay alive.
Yeah.
And so this is the line that he says. He's like, you can be selfish, and you want this.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin's like, I know I can pick myself, but the problem is every time I keep picking myself.
Yeah.
And this goes back also to Luke 9:23, deny self and pick up your cross daily. So he ends up picking Tina because he's like, in this world, even in this dark, crazy world, God's light is still showing through. And so he's like, says goodbye to Molly and everything. And there was something else that he said.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I just kind of know the situation. Are you talking about Kevin?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Anyway, he talked about how even in a dark world like that they're in, there's still light. And
Oh, yeah.
And it showed like
And then
the
it goes
people
back,
dancing, and it showed like the man cat showing up, and then all the friends that he made along the way. Even Gabriel, even though he was a shifter, he made friends with him.
Yeah.
And so, and he said, I'm not gonna. He pretty much just denied himself.
Yeah.
And so this is where that God shined down on, like he passed the test.
Yeah.
And this is kind of wrapping up towards the end of Job. If you know the last couple of chapters of Job, which we'll get into it
way on down
the road.
Yeah.
But that God pulls him back out of it and pretty much puts him like at the beginning of the movie, but flips it.
Yeah.
To where he has to like talk to him all, like, I guess he remembers all this.
Right.
So he pretty much puts him in another universe where Molly's already got a kid, and like they pretty much go on to have a great life. And so just like Job, God took all this away, or God allowed Satan to take all this away from him, but because he stayed steadfast and feared God, that he gave him that times two.
Right. And you when he's in the, before, God takes over, he actually picks Tina.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come back. And Gabriel ends up having a gun anyway. And the devil's not expecting him to pick. Yeah, the devil's not expecting him to pick
Tina.
It
makes him mad again.
And it makes him mad, like furious.
Yeah.
And then he shifts Gabriel over to him, takes the gun from Gabriel, and acts like he's going to try to shoot Kevin. And then that's when God shifts him to the...
Yeah, that's when God steps back in and puts him back in where he's supposed to be at.
Yeah.
And puts him back with Molly.
Yeah.
So this movie pretty much follows exactly along with Job. And so my final thoughts on the movie was, I out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
It was all right. I mean, it was a good movie. They never really specifically said Jesus' name. But, it showed him praying. It showed him being faithful. And, I mean, biblically accuracy, I'd give it maybe like 3.
Yeah. Biblically accurate. It does show, like,
it has Bible verses through the movie. I mean, you get the gist.
If you know the Bible decently well enough, you can kind of follow along and see where parts of it is.
If you know the story of Job,
yeah,
you don't even have to know word for it. If you just have an idea of Job, you can see how it follows along with it.
But I like that. It's all at 7.5. It's a good movie. It's kind of, like I said, a weird concept, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So it's
a good movie overall. Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it again if it was on TV.
Yeah. No, but that was pretty much all I had of it. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
So if you like this movie review, like, subscribe. You want us to do it again? Another movie? We'll probably end up doing it anyway, whether you like it or not. Because we got a lot of movies we like to watch.
Yeah.
And so we like to talk about it, like to know what people think.
Yep. And last thing I kind of want to do is play this clip by Neil McDonough, kind of talking about what he did, and then we'll wrap it up and get out of here.
All right.
Well, I was asked to play the devil. I said no, and I went home to Reveille, and I said, they asked me to play the devil, and we talked about it, we prayed about it, we thought about it, and said, all right, well, you're probably the best villain in Hollywood, and you probably have one of the greatest relationships with God in Hollywood. So, we thought that if somebody else had played the benefactor, there's that moment that you saw near the end of maybe Lucifer had it wrong. When you watch Kevin, here comes the cat, here comes this, here comes love, here comes all these unanswered things that I can't figure out. Lucifer made a mistake in his life. He was once so close with God, but we all make mistakes in our lives. We all sin. We all do stupid things. Every single day we do dumb stuff. But what makes you a great human being is how you get up and dust yourself off.
So that was kind of just him talking about, his role in it and what he kind of went through. So that was something that I wanted to play. And like I said, it was a very good movie, and I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I liked it. I feel like the way that he, especially in his interviews, how he talks about why he wanted to portray the devil and why he wanted to do these things, and just, Neil McDowell, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Neil McDowell.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
okay. He's a God-fearing man, and he loves Jesus, and so I feel like there's nobody that should have played Satan inside of him.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we got for this episode. I hope if you watch the shift, I hope you enjoy it. We're not sponsored or endorsed or anything by them. So this is our true honest opinion. I feel like it was a good movie. You
Yeah.
know. I would watch it again, like you said, 7.5. I give it a
Yeah.
solid 7.5.
Yep. All right. Well,
That's all we got.
that's all we got.
Like, subscribe.
See you later, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.